Hey everybody, welcome back to Hangoutlander.
New song, season 3. Open us up.
Move over, Yara.
What's her name?
I think her name's Yara. I don't know.
Yeah. Guys, it is Hangoutlander time. Say goodbye to your lives. Say goodbye to your weekends because we're going to be doing Outlander until Christmas. Yay, let's do a shimmy. We're very excited. We love Outlander and we're very excited that it's back. But we wanted to say hello really quickly and let you know if this is your first time to hang Outlander, who we are. We're all that's normal, all of us. We all write and cover Outlander, not exclusively. We do other things as well, but we are here very regularly to talk about Outlander a lot. We have lots of things to say. We've been here since the beginning, okay? We have like 250 Outlander posts on our site. It's ridiculous. So if you like it and you're coming to us for the first time, you got some archives to go to is all I'm going to say. You're going to see some stuff. It's all there. I'm Beth. Hello. I'm not drinking tonight because I just got over my migraine. I'm having a ginger ale and a mango smoothie. It's lovely. And we have two ladies together tonight. Say hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Tweeting, you guys. Tweet us. Hashtag Hangoutlander.
This girl's in charge. Hi, I'm Becca. I've got rosé because even though it's only 7 on the West Coast, I'm here, so I've convinced Nikki to drink.
Oh, look at that. I have an actual drink.
A nice pour, a heavy pour. Cheers. Yeah, I'm Becca. This is Nikki. I'm visiting.
Yep, we're both in LA. We got to go to the LA, whatever it was called, Outlander thing. Maybe we'll talk about that later.
And then anyway, because we got to talk about the New York one too. Also, we need to figure out if we're ever getting those videos from you.
We're not. They're super embarrassing. Okay.
Okay.
We'll get there. All right, Jules.
Okay, hi, I'm Julie. Like Beth said, I also write for That's Normal, and I have a heavy pour of the only wine I had in my refrigerator, which is Chardonnay. So I poured it like a white woman on the Desperate Housewives. So
that looks like apple juice.
it's not, and I don't drink Chardonnay, so I'm gonna probably say a couple of things later on tonight, and then look back and regret. So
no one regrets anything on Hangoutlander. There's never been a thing that's ever happened on any Hangoutlander that anyone has ever regretted. It's always been perfectly what we want to live on the internet for forever.
The most regrettable moments of Hangoutlander.
What?
We have a top 10 list of the most regrettable moments of Hangoutlander.
You know what? If I had like 40 hours in my life to go back and watch all the Hangoutlanders, that would be a great post. That would be a great thing to do. Just a little video.
In order of importance.
Yeah. I'm going to go with my impression of Diana in one of the early episodes as being the number one thing I shouldn't have done.
Mine is my Mary impersonation. I look back and I cringe on that. And I was like, I'm embarrassed by it because I did it so well that I'm like just thoroughly embarrassed by that. So that's the girl who the big blue eyes and didn't know what.
Yes, we unfortunately remember Mary Hawkins and your impression of her. Just real quick on Twitter already, Laura is telling us that she thinks her mom has been sneaking Hangoutlander because she's randomly started saying Outlander like Beth Thorne. I don't say it wrong, okay? It's Outlander. That's what you stress. It's not Outlander or whatever everybody else says. That doesn't make any sense. It's 2 words. It's a compound word. Outlander. 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 That's how you're supposed to say it.
Okay, hold on. We need to do some housekeeping. We have a prize to give away tonight. I don't know what it is because the prizes are at my house.
I have prizes.
Oh, wait,
I would have got one in my room.
Let's do it. What do we have? Think of something you got in your room.
How about we have a t-shirt.
Yeah, we have plenty
of
t-shirts.
We got some t-shirts. Well, we had some made at
If anyone likes dried flowers.
Oh yeah, there's also that. We should be wearing them. Aw.
You could have gotten this from the LA Outlander event.
Does that have thistles on it?
Some of them did. We got some pre-made ones from the lovely people of Stars, but
we didn't stand in line to make our own, which I think is when you could add the press.
Your own.
The thistles, yeah. No, but we always want to do to encourage people to watch us live, although we do appreciate the people who listen to this on podcasts later. So hello to podcast listeners. Please tweet us, interact with us, because we randomly, with no sort of system, pick one of you later for a prize. We try to pick someone we haven't already gifted a prize to. So it's going to be a t-shirt. We had some really great t-shirts from Comic-Con, frame printed. It's going to say something great. You're the first winner of the season, so we'll be able to get one in your size, probably, unless we all got one. Anyway.
I don't know how many we have.
I don't either.
I have a good handful.
All right, great.
You will get one.
Nick and I went through a couple of times and
oh, that's right. I forgot you guys went back
and grabbed some stuff.
Anyway, that's what you need to do. Hashtag Hangoutlander or @that's_normal.
Yes, and then we can find you, and then we can give you a gift. Yay!
Yay!
All right. So we've told you who we are. Now, every Hangoutlander, what we try to do is we want to summarize the episode with one sentence. It sucks because it's really hard to do, but we're going to do it again because it's a tradition on Hangoutlander. And I'll go first since I'm making everybody do it. And I would like to say something to the effect of, I wonder if Sam's other body parts work as well as his face does in this episode, because he did some really good face acting. It was excellent face acting. I think he had 10 lines total, but he was in half of the episode, and the whole time I was like crying. Kudos on your face, Sam. Hope everything else is that expressive.
Penis.
That sounds terrible.
Oh my gosh.
I did not mean his penis. Specific only.
Yeah. I like how we're only 10 minutes into Hangoutlander and that word penis has already been said. I think mine is genetics stole the show because of that last line. Like everything was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. And that last line, and it was just like, womp, womp, womp for Flank. Frank and Claire. Sorry, I just combined their names. Flank.
Team Flank.
Clank.
Team Flank. Flank all the way. So I think genetics stole the show.
That's funny because genetics will keep coming up like throughout the entire thing and be like a big old bitch for the rest of this season.
Yes, very much.
Recessive genes and all. I think mine is Jamie's just over here trying to die and no one will kill him. He has some really good kill me, just kill me lines.
Poor Jamie.
I forgot to do this ahead of time, so this is off the cuff. I would just have to say, I have to confess that I didn't watch the last episode of season 2. So this was a great reintroduction to coming back to the season. Thank you, Outlander, for reminding me that you're a good show to watch.
Oh gosh.
Really good, guys.
I know I'm a terrible person, but in my defense, I've read the book, so I know what happens. Not like you have to watch the show.
Now you need to know the difference.
I think I was on Hangoutlander too.
Thanks.
It was a year and a half ago. Was it really that long ago? Last summer?
It was
before Comic-Con.
Yeah, it was before Comic-Con. It was like May. It ended in May of last year. It has been over.
How many babies? Ask Blurtlander how many babies we could have grown.
Okay. Ryan and I were just discussing how we could have done all of the episodes of Blurtlander that he hasn't done in that time frame. Like if we'd done them once a month. He's like 15 episodes behind. We could have done a Blurtlander once a month between Outlander. And he
seen the wedding, yes?
No, he has. He hasn't seen the last 2 episodes of season 1. That's and he actually said, when's the next Droughtlander? And I said, you know the phrase Droughtlander? Get the hell out of here. You know too much. You know too much.
He's the one running that Bang Outlander account, putting bangs on the characters.
Banglander.
Somebody's running a good blog.
Oh. No.
All right.
So anyway, who won? Who won that? Did I win? Mine was the best.
No, it was not. That's not a. It's not a contest.
I know. Oh, okay. Trying to win a T-shirt over here.
But we are going to discuss a little bit of a poll that we took earlier, which was on our Twitter account. And I think it's dead now. I only let it go until it was time for Hangoutlander to start so we could have some, results. But we asked if you guys thought that Stars offering the episode early, if you thought it was great, like all around for everybody, like what a great thing to do. Or if it was good for you, but it's not good for the show really, like you think it's probably bad for ratings. Or if you think it's dumb because they should care about like event TV. So the poll is over. We had 140 votes, 139 votes. 53% of you think it's great all around, which surprised me. 30% then think it's dumb because event TV matters. That's what I would have said. And then 17% are both, like it's good for you, bad for the show. And people hated it. Some people loved it. Meredith, Mystery Redhead, say that it probably gives them better ratings numbers, but she would watch it if they released it in an app like 8 p.m. like HBO does. D, Tweetly D, said all she knows is that yesterday everyone was chatting about Outlander and this morning the buzz was gone. Shrug. So what do you guys think about this particular weird thing that they do?
Midnight.
Midnight. So it was last night, like Pacific time. You could watch.
No, not Pacific.
No.
At 9 o'clock Pacific. Yes,
Yeah.
you could have seen it on Saturday. Yeah. Yeah.
So technically, when it premiered last night, it was almost like for us on the West Coast, it almost premiered like it was a TV show.
Saturday.
And my big thing, I'm with you, Beth. I like event television. I don't want to I don't want to go through my Twitter feed or have to ignore my Twitter feed because I like to look at my Twitter feed to see what's going on with the world. And people were, and rightly so, tweeting about it. Now, we had all of four of us, including Karen, had seen the episode earlier at Comic-Con. So for us, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening kind of moment. However, for many people, they didn't get to see the episode early. So for me, as somebody who likes event television, it would have been a letdown. I would have been upset. Think about when Game of Thrones was spoiled, when that hacker went in and took all of those episodes and revealed them. How many people were pissed off at that? And they were. So I don't know. I understand that it is good for them to get more ratings and more viewers, but at the same time, it kind of kills it.
That is good for ratings, right? So that's not something that I necessarily knew or understood.
Julie
Julie
did the research.
Yeah. Julie, why don't you break it down your PowerPoint?
Okay, now over here, no, I'm joking. So essentially, I just wanted to nerd it up for everybody, and I did some research on ratings and how it works. So Nielsen Ratings now does, because I have to catch up with the changing times, they have to do something called live and same day. So live and same day, essentially, that's Outlander. So it's when they premiered it, they start counting the number of views. So it supposedly helps them. Obviously, we won't have the numbers, but last year when they did that, because they premiered it the night before too for season 2, they got 1.40. They had over 1 million. They had 1 million viewers, so 1.45 was their premiere, which was up from obviously their first season premiere. So it does actually help them. It just kills it for the rest of us. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So from a ratings perspective, it's
yes
a decision. It's just like a fan experience. And maybe this is just how different people watch TV. Like, I feel like when we watch something that's super exciting, like people are either tweeting or you're like texting your friends because you're like, that moment happened. And that's, what happens when people do like live watch shows? Is that happening anymore for Outlander? I'm sure it did for tonight for people because they had planned it in advance, not thinking they were going to do it.
Yeah, I think it just puts a question mark out there instead of like, it's at 6 p.m. on the West Coast and everyone's going to be watching it at that time. So you either avoid or you jump in.
Right.
Like, oh, I could watch it at midnight, or do we need to live tweet in the afternoon, or where does it fall? When can people follow it? It just kind of makes it ambiguous and less, like we said, about an event and more just about ratings, which I understand.
They need for advertising to keep making this show.
Yeah,
there's no
exactly. And keep in mind too, the reason why like Game of Thrones doesn't do this. Game of Thrones, their season premiere was 16 million viewers. That's on HBO.
That's not all the people who illegally downloaded it.
Right. And that's not including the people who illegally downloaded it.
And all the people that are watching it in their friends'
right,
living rooms and stuff like that. And that's kind of the thing that I feel like Outlander is missing with this. Obviously, the rules are out of the window. Like Hulu lets 3 episodes at the beginning of a season go when they have a new show.
Right.
Netflix drops an entire season at once. So it's not that they have to do it a certain way. It's that usually when shows are putting their premieres online early, it's to garner interest. They already know how much interest they have in Outlander. They already have decent ratings. It's their number 2 show. Give it now the chance to be something that people are talking about all at once, just like Game of Thrones or just like The Walking Dead or just like some of the bigger shows that have gigantic followings, because they would do that instead of spacing it out and creating this mismatch of hashtags, this mishmash of like peak times that people are talking about it. It's never the peak time to watch Outlander specifically. And I don't know, like I feel like it's not the smartest move. Yeah, it probably bumps up their ratings. Yeah, it bumps up their numbers. But at the same time, it really, really changes how people feel about watching a show all at once. I have no idea when people are seeing it for the first time anymore. And live tweeting seems like a waste of time.
Right. Can you imagine, like, if we had all, you guys that are watching this and listening to this right now, if you had just watched it, right? If it just been an hour ago, whenever it ended, I don't know what time it is right now. But if it just ended, like, that's when you just talk to people. That's when you just talk to your friends. You're still on that buzz. But, like, let's be honest, all of you guys probably watched it 10 hours ago. Earlier. So, yeah, we're still excited. You're still here. We're still going to talk about it. But that, like, initial, like, excitement, like, everybody felt when they first finished this episode, it's just kind of died down.
Now, for not to, on the other, you know, to play devil's advocate, they are moving to Sunday night, and Sunday night is big television. The number 1 show on a Sunday night during this time is Sunday Night Football. They average 20 million viewers. I know, but they do average 20 million viewers. Walking Dead averages about 7 to 10 million viewers. So, and then Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones just ended. Walking Dead ended. But they are competing with some heavy hitters for Sunday night. And so I do understand why they want to release it early to the masses to generate that buzz. But at some point, you already have the buzz.
So,
and
Jules, you're reading, is it the 24 hours preceding the episode, or like what if they release it online right after and for 24 hours, whatever they need to do?
It's 24 hours from releasing the episode. So that's the same day. So that's the live and same day. So they're counting all the way to midnight tonight for East Coast.
So it only counts 3, if they released it at 9 p.m. Eastern on the app, they would only get 3 hours of online viewing that counted for the same day versus you get 24 hours when they release it at midnight.
Exactly. So
it's just barbs that are watching it over and over again.
And that's what they're betting
24 times.
And that's what I'm going to say it. I think that's what they're hedging their bets on, are the people who will watch it. I think I texted this to you guys last night. They're going to be it's the people who will, my hair just went crazy. Sorry. The people who will watch it when it first comes out, they'll wake up and they'll watch it again. Somewhere in the afternoon, they'll get bored and want to see Sam Heughan, so they'll watch it. And then they'll watch it live when it premieres, because I'm sure, and I haven't checked it, but I'm sure somebody was live tweeting. One of the actors, one of the producers. So they want to see what they have to say with the scenes. Yeah. So that's my theory. Avid fans are going to watch it at least 3 to 4 times.
What is currently like Outlander tweeting? Like, are they? Like, because it's 10, so it started at 8 or 9 on the East Coast.
It started at
8, right? 8 That's their new time.
So now it'll be
Outlander writers did something.
Someone's live tweeting now because it's 8 on it's showing right now on the West Coast, right?
Yeah. So they're live tweeting #Outlander premiere. So no one knew to use that at 12 hours ago. But
no.
And they weren't. They were using like Outlander at midnight or something like that.
So you're negating your social presence, but whatever. So they're doing their own live tweeting during the usual
So probably did it
prime time.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like you want it to be live tweeted during that time frame. Unfortunately, what you're getting is like people saying you were so good instead of their reactions to what's happening. If everybody's watching it whenever they want, nobody's live tweeting anything because you don't know what other people are reacting to. When you're live tweeting a regular show, somebody could just be like, boom, and it could just say hashtag Game of Thrones. And you know exactly what moment it is because you're doing that too. You can't do that when everybody's watching at different times, even if you're anticipating that a lot of people are going to tune in as soon as it drops on the app. That's still not good enough. It's a really, really odd way to try to garner a following on social media. I hate it. And I realize that that's like kind of I didn't say anything about it on Twitter today because I did last season when it started happening. And some people were like, well, you get to watch it, weeks ahead of time. And I understand being excited about the episode and feeling like you get to see it early, but you're not really getting to see it early. And I think that everybody, even the people that want to see it as soon as possible, would really enjoy it more if everybody saw it in prime time.
Right. A couple of people, Ashley Craig said she didn't want to watch last night because I wanted to watch live with everyone tonight. So I feel like, are we just outdated with our viewing that we're the old folks who are like, no, I'm going to wait till it appears on TV. Like,
Probably. I bet that's like millennials. Oh, I just put them in quotes. I'm technically one. But I bet that is like they're going to watch whatever. Like that's not as important.
Yeah.
I think it's the opposite. I think it's the grandmas that are watching it as soon as it drops on the app, and it's the millennials and people who know what live TV is who are waiting to watch it with people online because that's their influencing group. Whereas the grandmas don't give a shit.
Also,
boomers.
So instead of being called millennials,
we're either going to call the boomers and the millennials, or we call them grandmas and like pretentious young people.
I was also going to say the millennials are, out on a Saturday night, not waiting for
not midnight, watching the show.
Right.
Kate,
someone said that Kat, whatever we call her, was live tweeting.
Yeah.
Hangoutlander as well.
When?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, when are you live tweeting? That's
where is she right now?
Hold on.
Wait, Beth, you're her best friend. Will you please tweet her?
Yes.
And find out when
as of an hour ago. So she live tweeted.
Good.
With
and I don't think you can call it live tweeting unless you're tweeting during the actual airing on television. Otherwise, it's reaction tweeting.
Right.
It's just you tweeting about it. So
Heather says that she thinks that they should release the entire, like Netflix, they should release it all at one time. Heather, do you mean the series, like Netflix?
She means the whole season.
They're probably concerned about people's health because they would just be on here. They wouldn't eat. They'd forget. They would just constant masturbation. Like they're just very concerned.
Not shower.
It would be a liability. I don't think they could do that.
I think it's also like those shows that release all at once. It's like they get like a good week or two buzz, and then it's like whatever.
Right, unless it's Stranger Things. Like that is like a anomaly, right?
Yeah,
for Netflix. I mean, there's a couple things that have happened, but they have a lot of shows that we have not heard of because they're just like any network, right? There's one show that pays their bills, and then there's a bunch of others out there. The same thing's happening with Netflix. It's just,
Netflix especially, like I'll all of a sudden find something and I'm like, this is a Netflix original. Or if you just scroll through Netflix originals, you're scrolling for 100 years. There's a million of them and you've never heard of 75% of them.
Right.
I'm cracking up at Jamie's rules. She just tweeted that the Barbs watch it a few times before it actually airs so that they have time to think of witty tweets.
Oh,
they're not live tweeting. They're waiting and watching it and then making sure they're funny before they tweet about it.
Gotta do that meme generator before premiere time.
It takes a while to get that dial-up happening.
Jamie, we would never say anything that catty about the Barbs, okay? That's mean.
Totally.
Let's get into this episode, though. Enough about how Stars doesn't know what they're doing. The Battle of Culloden happened finally in this episode.
Finally.
They talked about it forever in season 2, and we never saw it. And then we got to see it in this one. And what did you guys think? Did it feel anticlimactic, or did you think it was good?
No. It finally happened. I mean, it took like 2 seasons to finally get there, but it was so well done. I thought it was well done. I cried. Sam face acted. There was almost kissing, some weird sexual tension.
Yeah, there was some what do we call it? Just heavy breathing.
Heavy breathing. Some humping.
Lots of intimate grappling.
Yes. A lot of slow motion walking towards each other and then getting this close to each other's face.
There was firelight, and then there was a swell of music, and then they locked eyes, and then they like ran and crashed into each other. It was very hot.
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. I really did like it because I was hoping they wouldn't show it all at once, like in a huge long stretch, and I'd be like, like Saving Private Ryan style, where just you cringe. So I liked the breaking up. I liked the, Sam kind of Jamie thinking back, doing that heavy breathing. I compare it to, if you guys remember on Titanic, Kate, when Rose was on that door and she's like, and then she's like, Jack, there's a boat. But this time he's like, Jack, there's a war. So
I am very convinced. I've watched it 4 times.
Wow.
And well, I watched
Okay, Barb.
Yeah.
Listen here, guys. I had to see it at Comic-Con. I had to see it at the New York premiere last week. And then I had to watch it twice to take notes and screen cap it. So it's not like I'm obsessed with it or anything. I just had to.
Not at all.
Hold on.
It was forced on me.
We did our recap tonight. We haven't done a shout out. We do also have a website you can go to. That's -normal.com. Thank you very much, Charles in Missouri, who will sell us the other domain. You can see her Outlander recap, which I've not read, but I bet it's good.
Top 10 moments from Outlander 301. But yes, and I am very convinced, and I wrote this in my recap, that you can hear not just Jamie's breath in that moment. And we don't actually see a killing stroke of Blackjack Randall, and he doesn't necessarily look dead. And I think we might see him come back. I'm pretty sure you can hear him breathing.
Yeah.
No way.
The fact that he was on top of him that entire time.
And they never acknowledged that was him, right?
No, they do. Yeah,
you see him.
They push him over.
Him off.
That's right.
And he probably goes like this to his face. No joking.
They're very close. It's a very like post-coital embrace when
it's a lover's embrace.
Jack's face. Yeah.
It's a lover's embrace.
I was struck by the fact that if you weren't a book reader and you didn't know that Jack is the red coat on top of Jamie for a good 10 minutes, Jamie just has this man laying on top of him and you're not thinking about that it could be Blackjack. And then that face rolls over and that's who it is. I was thinking that if you weren't a book reader, what a great moment. What a great like kind of shock moment. And then it immediately goes back to Jamie seeing him on the field, which is a really tense and intense skirmish. And it kind of sucks sometimes to be a book reader and not know that that things like that are coming.
Yeah. I wonder if Kyle, who has joined us and will be joining us at some point this season, has watched the first episode yet. Because it'd be interesting because he's not a book reader to see. And he also, likes men. So he enjoys a little Jamie and Blackjack.
Didn't he watch episode 1 with us at Comic-Con?
No, he didn't.
That's right. We had to tell him what happened because then we watched episode 2 together.
Oh, we're the worst. Never mind.
Mean people.
Okay, sorry. Do we know anybody else? Does anybody have a friend who has not read the books that's watching us? We definitely know some people.
Yeah. Outlander hasn't.
I don't know who.
My best friend Katie texted me and said she was not a happy person with the second season. She almost stopped watching it, but she said because of us, she kept watching. But she texted me earlier and said she thought it was a great episode. And she finally understood the song. That's what she said. I finally understand what they're saying in the song.
Yeah, they redid the song and the opening credits. And it looked
right.
Yeah, they look really good.
They look really good. Yeah, there was a lot of really things to love in this first episode.
Yeah, it was really, really, it was the best premiere episode that they've had.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
If you're not counting The Reckoning, which is episode 109, which is kind of like the second season's opening, that is actually probably the best one, but it's not really a season opener.
Right.
But season 101 is kind of bogged. It's really slow. It's bogged down by like not great acting. And season 201 is likewise got the worst transition of all time when they, and so, not the best. But this is probably their most solid season opener for sure.
And honestly, not to brag about seeing it early, when we all saw it at Comic-Con, you have to keep in mind that, well, one, Becca and I arrived earlier, so we had to go and watch all these other panels, and then we were joined by Beth, Nikki, and Karen. And so we had been sitting there for a while. They did a press release letting us know that the episode would premiere at Comic-Con. So like I will be honest with you, there was part of me, I'm sure Becca can say it too, we both went, ugh, because you have to sit for an hour and a half. First half.
We wanted to hear them, or we knew if they had a panel, we're going to watch an hour episode, we get a half hour of them. Like we were there and not necessarily watch TV.
Right. So by 5:30, I know I was kind of like irritable, tired. We only had a package of almonds sharing between the two of us. It was like we were cast away.
And finished.
That's right. But I knew it was a really good episode because I was watching the whole entire time, and I at the end I was like, that is a really good. I was irritable, I was tired, and I was hungry. Yeah. And I still thought it was a good episode.
Yeah, all of those things, and like at the end of it, like I had a big smile on my face.
Yes.
So that's a huge like win.
And he like remarked how much better they were in person, right? Like, and Rick Rankin, like he was great.
Yeah.
Big fan of Rick.
Big fan of Richard. Uncle Ricky.
Uncle Ricky.
Uncle Ricky. I thought it was an amazing episode. I cried in Ballroom 20. So
she did.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing. Yeah, I was like, sorry, ladies. Sorry, Barbs. A lot of people on Twitter want us to weigh in. Do we think Murtaugh is dead? Heather, Roseanne, a couple other people have asked the same thing. Apparently, there's a big Twitter debate.
Okay, hold on. Are we allowed to talk about the book?
Sure.
I can't remember what our rules are because he is in the books. Yes.
He's dead in the books.
But I can't remember why we think he's alive because we don't ever see him die.
You don't see him die. They just have that little reunion moment, and that's that.
I have a very specific reason for believing that Murtaugh is alive. And that's because in the cottage scene, Jamie asks about Murtaugh's fate, and they showed Murtaugh in this episode. I think that if they were going to get rid of Duncan LaCroix, they would have had his last episode be in season 2, and Jamie would not have asked if anybody knew what happened to Murtaugh because there's other people he doesn't ask about.
Yeah.
So
did they answer?
They said they didn't know. One of Giles, I think, says, "Oh, I lost sight of him in the fight." Right. So they don't say what happened to him, and in this, it's the Chekhov's gun thing. I mean, it's not really because it's a person and it's just a line of dialogue, but they're not going to say that if they're not going to bring Murtaugh back. I don't think.
And I think you're right. I think he's such an important character, especially for Jamie, that if he is going to die, they are going to show it, and I think they would have already shown it in this episode too. I think just like Jamie watching everything, and remembering everything.
Like we don't see, but we hear Rupert's death. It easily could have been Murtaugh playing that role of Rupert.
Yeah,
the scene if they wanted to give Duncan LaCroix, a farewell.
And I have to say, I thought Rupert was really good in this episode.
So good, so good.
So if you're going to start Outlander fans doing Emmy for Outlander, now you can start doing it for the guy who plays Rupert. Finally.
Yes, you were doing it in season 1 when he was barely in anything, but now you can go right ahead.
Yeah, in season 2 when he was in an episode for like 10 minutes, everyone's like, Emmy for Outlander. I'm like, not yet. Calm down.
Not for Grand O'Rourke, you guys. But he was really great. And I said in my review, and I hate when I say I said in my review, but I think that he stands in for Jamie in this episode. If Jamie was capable of standing, Jamie would have been bucking all of those men up and taking care of them and making sure that the young boys weren't scared and all of those kinds of things. And so Rupert stands in for the kind of leader that Jamie would be in that moment. So it was good.
That was great.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good.
Yeah, they wouldn't send off a character like that. No. And I think it makes a lot of sense to keep him around. For the future.
Yeah, it really does.
So Anna just tweeted that according to the lady talking to herself in YouTube live chat.
Huh?
I have no idea, but Anna's saying that.
I don't think we're looking at that.
No.
Sorry.
I don't know what that I'm like, what in the, okay, sorry.
There's a Google chat. There's a YouTube live chat.
Okay.
And we're just not, I mean, y'all, Nikki and Becca might be looking at it on the, but we're not really looking at that. We tend to just stay on Twitter. We can't be in so many places at once.
No, but she said that.
Right. It's a new feature. And I'm sorry. I did see that was an option, but I don't even know how to open that, you guys.
I don't know how to.
I'm too old. I'm not a millennial.
Yeah, it says that Kat tweeted earlier that we will see Murtaugh again. Way to spoil it, Katrina Balfe.
Oh, well, good. Thanks, Katrina.
All right. Well, there we go. Beth is right.
I like being right. That being said, if she spoiled it, I've seen the first 6 episodes.
That's true. I have not. I've only seen the first 2.
So, you know.
What would Katrina do? Spoil it for everybody in her live tweets, because she can do that because she's Katrina Balfe.
I'm also totally prescient, but yes, I do know whether or not Murtaugh lives. So let's talk about the Battle of the Randalls real quick, because we had the Battle of Culloden, and now it's time to talk about Frank and Claire. I love where this episode sends us with the early part of their marriage, and I love their fight, and I love Tobias's face, and I like their Boston apartment. And there's just literally there's not anything that I disliked about Frank and Claire in this episode. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like. They're nicer. I think we talked about this after we saw it, but I think they're nicer to Frank in the show than they are in the books. I think Diana is in the books. And we've always kind of said that, right? Because I think because Tobias is such a likable person and character, and like Blackjack's so hateable, but I think there has to be this balance and such a likable, because, and I know that's a struggle with people who are such book readers. Like, no, we don't like Frank. Frank cheated on her. And like, yeah, he did. But look at how she treated him.
Yeah.
It's different seeing it playing out instead of just reading it. And you see these people, obviously they're acting, but you see these people who are involved, and it's a interpersonal relationship, and there's much more than the book.
Right. I thought I loved seeing Frank in this light, because you see him, he is trying. He's being kind to her. There's that moment where he goes up to her to, do something that a husband would do. I think he tries to kiss her on the forehead or something like that, and she backs away, and
you really touch her belly.
Oh yeah. And she just flinches, and you just see like they accomplished something that I'm going to say it, that Diana couldn't accomplish in the book. And you actually feel, but I don't think that was Diana's goal, was for you to feel empathy for Frank. The show says, look at this guy. He could have said, no, we're getting a divorce. I'm sorry. This is too much for me. It's too weird for me.
Yeah.
But no, he's like, no, let me help you raise this child, and let me make us a home. And
it's the idea of like Frank fiction, which is something that we saw in season 1, where there are things that the show is putting in about Frank that you're not privy to in the book, that you don't understand, and that aren't really coming through, whether or not it's because of it's Claire's point of view or whatever. And the fact that Tobias is just so fantastic at it. Watching him just look at her in their apartment, you can feel that he's trying so hard to pull that tether that connected them before all of this happened, and to kind of tug on her heartstrings a little bit and get her to just look at him. And it's not working. And as much as he's being earnest and sincere and really trying to make their marriage work, she's also in the midst of a lot of trauma and pregnant and going through something that he really can't understand. So there is a huge amount of empathy for Frank in the show that you don't get in the books, because in the book, it just seems like he's doing it because he has to.
Right.
And there wasn't really an option, and he doesn't seem particularly concerned about being close to her. And it's a lot different in the show. And it's, it's not all smooth sailing. Marriages suck. So I love the look at it where you're not fully on Claire's side 100% of the time, like you do.
Yeah, I think this is one of the moments in the season where the TV show writing elevates the source material. It doesn't always happen, but this is definitely one of the moments that they've been able to make what Diana wrote much better. I think they're able to show different points of view versus just Claire.
Right.
It's much different seeing other people and how they're affected than just Claire and what she's thinking at that moment.
Yeah. And their fight, the the frustration. And that's the thing, like, I had to remind myself, because I was kind of like, you know, geez, Claire, give the guy a break. But at the same time, you're right. She is going through her own trauma. You know, she's heartbroken over the fact that she can't see the man that she truly loves. But that fight that they have is such a powerful, and the chemistry between these two actors. I mean, we always talk about Sam and Katrina, and they have chemistry. And yes, they do have chemistry, but Tobias and Katrina, they have amazing chemistry together too.
Yeah, and I love how that fight comes out of like nothing. Like they're
yeah.
talking about citizenship, and then it turns into I'm not the one who was fucking other people on a dime. And that's very, you know, that's normal. That's just how, you know, marital fights work, and I love it. So I really, really loved this particular aspect of this particular episode. I'm interested to see what everybody thinks as we go along. Roseanne wanted us to talk about the meaning of the rabbit and the bird. And I have thoughts about the bird. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the rabbit on the battlefield.
Yeah, and then there's a sparrow or a finch or something that lands in a little dish, a little shallow like bird bath outside of Claire's kitchen window.
And she's watching it.
Yeah, right before she has the fight with Frank, and she kind of stops, and the Jamie and Claire theme goes, or some other theme, Scotland theme, I think is one of the Scottish themes, like plays. For me, the bird is representative of simpler, more natural time that she's missing. And so she's kind of bombarded. In this episode, they show you like how they're bombarded with modernism, and she's got all these modern appliances, and she's cooking over a campfire because she can't figure out her gas stove all the time. And they have, you know, milk that's gone bad, etc. And in the midst of all of that, you know, just the simple sound of a bird, you know, makes her stop and puts her right back in the past where things were more simple, and those sounds would have been something she could hear over the noise, and because there was no noise and drone of modernism around her. So I think that's what the bird is about. The rabbit, I don't really have a good theory on, other than it just kind of representing that there can be life and things can go on after this battle. Like it's a whole field full of death. And in the midst of that, there's like a living thing that is not only living on its own, but can show Jamie how he could also continue on and keep living, because he could, you know, rabbits or something he can trap and kill and eat. And so I think that it's just kind of a symbol of life kind of coming from that battlefield. Like his life is not over in the midst of all that blood and guts and everything. There's still life there.
Yeah, and then it leads into Claire, that like vision he has of her. So I think it's somehow tied to like her, either like the baby bunny and her, and I don't know. Somehow I tied them together in my mind.
Well, like, yeah. And for me too, like typically like reading, when you read books and poetry and you see there's a bird, especially like a finch or something like that, and they're these little songbirds, they typically represent things like the soul, or like there's a lot of religious connotations, but like the freedom of that bird compared to the bird is flying and lands in that dish, and she just is watching it, and she's in this house, this beautiful house in Boston, but she's still in that house. She's caged.
Yeah.
And, you know, she sees it flying away, and just, it has a freedom that she doesn't have at that moment.
Yeah.
So,
Roseanne also said that she thinks it's a plover, which, I'm going to be real, I'm sure Diana talks about plovers at some point in these books, but I've never heard of that bird. And, but she said, remember Jamie's story, how it protects its nest. I don't remember that. But that sounds good too.
Sure.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't tend to remember little bits that Diana puts in there about creatures. I know she's got a doctorate in that stuff, but like, I'm not interested. Takes me a while to care. Let's talk about Claire versus the patriarchy, because she smashes it in this episode.
Smashes it?
She smashes it.
She speaks.
I am appalled at the fact that little feminist Claire is living in 1950s America and is being dragged into this Stepford wife existence where she's not even allowed to read the fucking newspaper. And yet in her life with Jamie, she was, you know, deferred to. She was traveling with an army of men and they respected her. And yeah, she, you know, was followed and, you know, assaulted at different times and in different turns. But for the most part, the men who were with her were, you know, like, didn't care how she spent her time or what she did. Yeah. They're more sexually free. Like all these things that you would think the 18th century would keep her down, and really it's the 20th. And I am shocked and appalled by that. And at the same time, just fascinated with how Claire handles it, because she kind of is biding her time. And I love that. And
also like how Frank supports her in that, right?
Like he doesn't stick up for her though.
He doesn't. Yeah.
It is his.
But he does a little bit.
Yeah, I thought more.
He tells the dean, he's like, Dean, well, I don't know if you know, but my wife was a combat nurse, because, you know, he's trying to kind of get him to quit being such a dick, and it doesn't work. And then he doesn't continue on, but
but it makes her angry.
Like a catch-22. It's probably not a situation. It's like your boss, essentially. How far can you go, you know?
Yeah.
So.
But I just found it like, yeah, the irony of all ironies. She's in, you know, what is it, 18th century Scotland, and she has more of a voice than she would in 1940s Boston. And just that notion of, you're the wife, you stay silent, you just sit by your husband and just nod, and you know, you know, just that notion. And that isn't her. So
also, had she given birth in Scotland in the 18th century, she would have been fully present for that and fully like invested in what was going on. And I cried when she wakes up and says, "Is it dead?" Because there's really like the first time you fall asleep after you've had your baby, when you wake up, you can feel the absence of that body. It's like a thing, you know, is going on, and it's very strange. And if that baby wasn't right there, either next to you or like in the crib where you can see it, like it would freak you out. And I can't imagine not only waking up and not seeing my baby, but waking up not feeling it, having had lost a late term one a year before, and not even having ever seen whether or not my baby lived after it was born. Like there's something very, very, very cruel about what they did to her. And it doesn't look as overtly cruel as throwing her in a witch's, you know, in a jail cell or whatever, in a pit in the middle of the street and burning her as a witch. It doesn't feel as cruel as some of the things that she undertook in the 18th century, but it's very, very, very cruel. And yet modern, and, you know, what we should be striving for, you know, like newness and all of that. And it's one of the cruelest things that happens to Claire in this series, I think.
And it's that notion of she doesn't get the right to say what she wants. As they're putting her under, she's like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. And she's an expert. She understands the human body. She knows what will happen, what will go through. And here she keeps on saying, I don't want that. I don't want that. And yet nobody listens to her.
Did they have to do a C-section on her in the books?
Yeah, I think so. I think, or at the very least, I think maybe Bree was breech, but I think she does have a C-section, which is one of the reasons why her going back it's kind of palatable that she had to go back, because she would have died.
Yeah.
Had she been born. But of course, we don't have any idea how she gave birth.
Courtney Formidable 1217 said, I thought it shadowed the Faith episode, and it really
did.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she even says, where's my baby?
Right.
She wakes up, and after, you know, is she dead? Where's my baby? And that is exactly what she said when she miscarried and realized, she wanted to hold her daughter. So,
Anna said that she had a hard labor, would have died without modern medicine. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Heidi said something interesting that I completely forgot about or missed. She said, did Jamie dropping the dragonfly and Amber seem unnecessary to anybody else? When did that happen?
It happens when Rupert picks him up.
Oh, dropping the thing that she gave
in his
him?
pocket.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought.
Yeah.
I was envisioning he had a dragonfly and he dipped it in some amber. I'm like, very.
Not dropping the dragonfly in the amber, but dropping the dragonfly in the amber.
So during the battle, a dragonfly flew in too, as well as a bunny. Jamie grabbed the dragonfly and had a thing of amber and went.
That didn't really. Did he ever find it again? Like, is it going to come back later?
Yeah, someone tweets that she finds it later.
Like finds it on the battlefield. That seems a little more far-fetched.
Goes back and visit.
They said they thought that happened.
So there was an article that Entertainment Weekly did with the stars and the creator, and they essentially said there's going to be Easter eggs in this season. So watch for the Easter eggs, and I'm sure that was a Easter egg.
Totally.
If that's an Easter egg, it's the size of my head. It's so obvious. Focus on it for 100 years.
It's that big giant Easter egg that you get when you were a kid and you opened it up and it was chocolate. So good time.
That doesn't feel like an Easter egg. It feels like a giant neon sign.
Yes.
But at the same time, if she does find it on Culloden more, like later on, maybe Bree and Roger find it. Heaven forfend. But if they do find it, I would find that a very unbelievable little coincidence. Yeah. They're not archaeologists.
No.
Everyone's responding. Jana, Ashley, these book readers, they're saying, I am imagining.
Sorry.
Find Amber. She finds it in a museum about Culloden.
Oh, okay.
From the season 2 finale.
I do remember that.
Sorry, Ashley, we totally forgot.
That happens in the show.
Oh, that's the episode I didn't watch. I'm out.
Also, the episode I only watched once, maybe.
Me too. Because after that episode, for various reasons, I just couldn't.
Ignore how ignorant we are about things that happen.
I do remember from that episode a couple of things, and one of them was she said, "On your way, soldier," and then I was like, "I'm over it. That's good. Yeah. We're dead. Thanks."
Number 1. It was like a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
sure.
Sorry.
I don't have stars anymore. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't have my friend Chad blocked, but can't rewatch it.
Sarah says, Outlander TV series, not known for its subtlety.
Very true, Sarah. Very true. They are kind of knocking you over the head with a lot of things.
God.
I'd like to know what everybody thinks is going to happen in the next episode that isn't part of the book, like in the next several episodes. What do you think is going to happen that deviates from the book?
Well, I've probably seen it, so I can't answer.
I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about our readers or listeners.
Oh, I think another bunny's going to appear somehow.
What, a bird?
You're going to put a bunny in a cage with a bird.
With a bird, and they fight. And it represents Jamie and Frank. Frank's the bunny.
Frank is the bunny.
Frank can't be the bunny. He's sterile.
Oh.
Oh.
So we know for sure.
Yeah.
We know.
He had a test.
Sure.
He says it. He flat out.
I think, yeah, he tells the Reverend. That I do remember from the show. He tells the Reverend.
Yeah.
So take that.
Which is why it feels that's why it makes sense for him to be so obsessed with Brianna being his. Because I think if he was really kind of like not into Claire and he was just doing this so that she would have a husband to raise her child with, and he didn't really care either way, I think he wouldn't be like so into Brie being his, but he is. And I think it's 100% A, because he's Mr. Genealogy and that's like super important to him, and B, because he knows this is his only chance of having like a legitimacy in terms of the child.
Joanna says, next episode, she says, brown chicken, brown cow with Mary. Mary McNabb.
Mary McNabb.
Courtney thinks Murtaugh. We'll see Murtaugh in the next episode.
Okay. I'd like to know what people think is going to happen that's other than Murtaugh. That's not in the book.
This is a great activity. I like this. We should end every Hangoutlander with what's going to happen next.
That's not in the book. Like, obviously the stuff that's going to happen that you know is going to happen.
Catherine Lowe says, next episode, hair. Lots of hair.
Oh, gosh.
Bad wigs?
Next episode, we will spend at least 15 minutes on how the Dunbonnet requires Jamie's hair not to be seen, and how the wig that Sam is wearing not only allows his red hair to be seen, but like blatantly, like it's just there. It's like a lion's mane. It's like, forget that there's red Jamie in the countryside. Like there's a literal cheetah running around with a mane on its head.
It's so long too.
It's it's so long. It's this. I'm hoping you guys can. There it is. It just looks like a. It just looks like a bad 1990s perm that your mom gave you in the garage.
We combined our hair.
Yes, it is the combination of y'all's hair, exactly.
That's crazy.
I don't mind the hair, actually. It looks fine because you can't see where it connects to his scalp poorly because he's wearing the bonnet, and that's usually why wigs look bad, is because they look like they're not coming out of the scalp. What's bad is that it makes no sense.
No. It's because the hat is perched up on top of the wig.
Yeah.
Put the hair in the bonnet. Whatever.
Well, he's not supposed to be noticed. He's hiding, and it's his hair that throws everybody off. So hide the damn hair.
Yes.
Stupid. Oh, this is hot. Jana said, "Will we see the Frank nursing scene?"
We're not answering questions. We're asking you to tell us what you think is going to happen, so we can laugh at how you don't know. That's what's going on right now.
So. Also, my question is, Janet, do you want to see the nursing scene? Do you want to see a little bit of milk coming out of Frank's mouth?
That sounds terrible. The scene was quite hot in the book.
Let's just say, yes, the scene in the book is super hot. Also, nursing boobs are also hot. Having sex while you're nursing is hot. It's all hot.
Is it hot to have your husband or partner or your wife, whatever, we're equal opportunity drunk people, to suck on your breasts?
I think so. Like,
can we start a Twitter poll on that?
Good sexual thing, or it just feels good? Because you're
both. It's really, really awesome. I mean, we both liked it a lot.
Did your Outlander spit it out? You
no, drink it. Awesome.
You nursed him.
It's really hot.
Yeah, it's not.
I always think of Grapes of Wrath at the very end when she nurses the old guy back to health.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
okay. If it was an old guy, it would not be hot. It like when your milk drops down, it feels good. You know, like your nipples get tight, all of that feels good. It also contracts your uterus, which helps you like heal faster and stuff like that. So like you've got a lot going on bodily when that happens, and so it in conjunction with the sex act.
This is what you did in the 6 weeks where you couldn't have sex. You let Ryan nurse. Should we take off the air?
I nursed my kids both until they were Ella. Both of them for a very long time.
10. She'll be 10 next month. Hoping to wean by 12.
It's an organic childhood.
Emerson was like 27 months. So there was a long time of me being totally healed and also having milk.
I have a hippie sister, I guess.
No one wants to see that. Yeah.
Also, I'm sure everybody has tuned out of Hangoutlander at this point because they don't want to hear about.
No other live cast about Outlander is going through this right now. So you're welcome, everybody.
Now you know just a little bit too much about Outlander and Beth's sex life. Enjoy.
We all do. We've all been there.
It was super fun. So that's kind of it. That's episode 1. It was super good. Tobias and Kat and Sam were excellent in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say it's a return to form. Season 2 happened. Season 3, new beginning.
Good job. I agree.
Thank you, stars, for listening to all our complaining.
Yes. They finally got their footing. They figured out, hey, fans want us to stick a little bit more to the book, kind of deviate a little bit. That's okay. So, you know what? Mazel tov, stars. Good job. Good job. Tall Ships production.
One of these days, I'm going to write a whole post on the one thing that I wish that they would change in the book, from the show to the books, that's totally bananas, but I would love it. And I really, I told a couple of the production people about it because I wanted them to do it so bad.
Are you going to tell us right now, or are you going to be a bitch?
Do you want me to tell you what I think it should be?
Yeah, what is it?
I think they should let Frank live. I think that Claire going back and Bree going to be with her mother should have more stakes. And I think it would be really cool to see a historian on the other end of things, looking for them and finding things, and make the time travel aspect a little bit more real and have more consequences in the real world. And so I really think they should have let Frank live. I really think it would be cool to have Bree have to make the decision between her parents.
Yeah.
And between her fathers.
Agreed.
Thank you. Or at least have a parent there when it's time. So she's not like, I'm 20, I'm an adult. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
So much of an easy out.
I'm 37. I still need my mom sometimes. So Janice, you're not ever going back in the Stones.
Yeah. I think Frank dying is it's just the path of least resistance. It was bad form in the books, and it's even worse form in the show, especially because Tobias is so fantastic. So I would have preferred and would still prefer if Frank doesn't die.
Also, we're not talking about the late 1800s, right? We're talking about the 60s, or when she finally dies.
Yeah.
In the book. So 50s, it isn't, yes, women, but she's also a doctor at that point. She has her own money. She has her own, she has made her way in the world much more so than is typical.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. You have left her marriage and everything. Yeah, she could have.
Yeah, she could have left her marriage. And again, I think that the bigger issue, later on at the end of the season would be if Bree decides to go be with her mother, or go be with her real father versus staying with Frank, and what that would look like. And even just giving Bree a way when she's at home of seeing kind of her mother in the past, and doing that through Frank and not necessarily just through Roger. I really think that it heightens some of the tension and some of the stakes for them. And I think it would be a really cool way to do the time travel aspect, in the present. And anyway, that's my big change. If you guys think it's cool, let me know and I'll do some fan fiction for you.
My big change would just get Bree to have some emotion.
I feel like all of these are future Hangoutlander episodes, in which we will delve deeply into both of these topics.
Emmys for one of the characters coming up.
Emmys for Outlander.
What's the fake Emmys? It's not the Hammies.
Oh, the Razzies?
The
Razzies.
The Razzies.
It's going to be Razzie for someone.
Razzies for one of these folks, guys.
We'll let you guess who. Not
Rupert. No, I'm joking.
All right. That's it, you guys. We will see you next week, but we will not be here on Sunday night. All our Hangoutlanders are normally on Monday nights at the same time, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. The reason for that is because Monday nights are better for us socially. And also because Starz doesn't know what they're doing with live events TV, so there's no time like the present, right? So we will not be here Sunday night. Every single Hangoutlander after this will be Monday. And you can go to hangoutlander.com to see all the links for all of the future episodes, or at least the first half of the future episodes. And you can click on them and you can save them and you can get the events sent to your iCalendar with a reminder so you don't forget. And we will see you then. In the meantime, Hangoutlander. And we need to give away a t-shirt.
Oh, gosh.
Oh.
And crackers.
Cheese and crackers.
You're going to pick someone right now.
I'm going to pick someone.
Just do it. Just
Nikki.
Heather Harris 5. Why don't you send us an email? I feel like you're maybe new or you were lurking at some point, but I love a noob. So
sex
if you
breastfeeding.
aren't,
She's a big fan of sex breastfeeding or the conversation.
No, she wasn't.
No.
So just email us, admin@thatstashnormal.com. Tell us you were the winner. Tell us your address, preferred t-shirt size, and hopefully we have it in stock.
In stock.
in my bedroom. Thanks to everyone. Tune in next Monday.
We'll see you then.
We will see you then.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Tobias interview coming this week.
And red carpet interviews, hopefully.
Not
Fingers
while we're out of
crossed.
town, but okay.
Probably not.
Bye.
Bye next week.
Bye, everyone.